How are you doing? How are you doing? This is Emmanuel Ahmadu here. If you can hear me and I am loud and clear enough, please go ahead. Let me know in the comments. Amazing. You can hear me and I am loud and clear enough. Please go ahead. Let me know in the comments. I'd like to do a quick shout out before we get started. You're welcome to the official first School of Personal Development training session on YouTube. This is our first official live YouTube session for the School of Personal Development, and I'm super excited about what I'm going to be sharing with us tonight. So if you can hear me, let me be sure that you can hear me. If you can hear me and I am loud and clear enough, please go ahead, let me know in the comments. Had to switch off my mic, so need to check. We need to test run to be sure that you can hear me. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Damilola says loud and clear. Lindy says we are here. Thank you so much. Amazing. Joseph Paul, thank you so much. So go ahead, share the video with someone. Make sure you click on the share link, share it on your WhatsApp status, share it on in a WhatsApp group. Send it to a friend, send it to a family member so that they can join in. What I'm about to share tonight is guaranteed to change your life. And be sure to subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching the rebroadcast, make sure you subscribe. My goal is for us to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible so that we don't have any restrictions on YouTube. So that said, maybe a quick shout out to 1 or 2 persons and then we'll get started officially. Go ahead, comment your current location, just 1 or 2 shout outs, and then we'll get started. This is the School of Personal Development. This is not leverage. This is the School of Personal Development with Emmanuel Ahmadu. It's a free bi-monthly personal development training program where you are equipped with principle-based, life-applicable knowledge that is guaranteed to change your life. The goal is to evolve you into a wiser, better and stronger version of yourself. I can see Lindy Mapula all the way from South Africa. Good to have you. I know we have quite a number of people, so you can hear me. Just comment your current location. I'll do a quick shout out and we'll get started officially. We have Damilola from Niger State. Good to have you. Joseph from Borno State. Good to have you. Grace from Bauchi. Good to have you. We have JC from Kano. Good to have you. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching the rebroadcast, make sure you also subscribe. That said, without wasting any further time, I'll jump right into the business for tonight. Tonight, I'm going to be teaching on the topic growth systems. Very, very profound and very, very important subject. You know, I've been thinking about this topic right before the Leverage Conference. In fact, it was one of the topics I wanted to start out with, start the year with for the School of Personal Development. So for me, sharing and teaching now on this subject is really exciting for me. And I know that you will be blessed. I know that your life will not remain the same after tonight's training. The key to consistent growth and advancement. Now, we all know that everything that is alive, everything that God created that is alive is designed to grow. There is nothing that is alive that should not grow. One of the characteristics, the major character of living things is that they grow, whether plants or animals or organisms, right? Even mosquitoes evolve, butterflies evolve, plants grow, human beings grow. So everything that is alive is supposed to grow. And there are consequences. Should I use the word consequences, or should I say there are limitations? There are side effects to lack of growth, whether it is intentional or unintentional. Once you are alive and you are not growing, there are certain consequences that you would experience. For human beings, one of the major consequences that you experience if you are not growing is frustration, depression. A lot of people are frustrated because they seem to be counting the years, but their life is not moving forward. The only thing that seems to be moving forward is their age. So a lot of people are frustrated. Why is it that I am celebrating my birthday and I'm saying Happy New Year, Happy New Year? You know, we're almost in the middle of the year now, and some people can literally not pinpoint one thing they would say they've achieved in the last 5 months. So a lot of people suffer from stagnation. And you see, it is impossible for you to be happy if you are stagnated. The core requirement for happiness is progress, not even success, not even achievement. This is why no matter how much money, you know, the billionaires in the world have, Dangote is, I don't know for now, but he used to be the richest man in Africa. But he did not just sit down and say, I've made so much money, let me stop making money, right? Because happiness is tied to progress. Happiness is tied to growth. If you are not growing as a person, whether physically, spiritually, mentally, financially, relationally, you are going to be frustrated. So happiness is tied to growth. Many people are unhappy. Many people are frustrated because they are not growing, because they are not advancing in their life. They are not advancing in their destiny. There are people who are even retrogressing. It's not just that they are not growing, they are retrogressing. You started the year a millionaire, but right now you don't even have 2K in your bank account. You started the year on fire for God. You started the year, you know, with passion and hunger for reading, for studying. But right now, you can't even explain it. There is no hunger for growth again. There is no passion for learning. You are literally broke. There is no passion for growth. So there are many people, it's not that they are not even growing, they are retrogressing. Are you seeing it? I personally believe that nobody is at a standstill. You are either moving forward or you are moving backward. That's it. So you are either growing or you are reverse. There's what they call reverse growth. For those of you who may have experienced it, there's a condition where your teeth begins to grow inwardly. It's a very painful experience. I've had people share that with me, but that's reverse growth. Your teeth begins to grow inside your gum. So there are people who are reversing as time progresses. Now write this down. It is very important to note that change is inevitable, but growth is intentional. And this is why many people don't grow, because they think that growth is automatic. No, even biological growth is not automatic, as I'll be showing us now. That you see a baby who is very small, and then after 5 years, the baby has become a young child. After 10 years, the baby has become a young adult. It's not automatic, right? Change is what happens, you know, automatically, is what is inevitable. But if it is growth you want, especially when it has to do with destiny, growth spiritually, growth financially, growth in terms of your mental acumen, growth in terms of your, you know, ability to think properly and make correct decisions, growth relationally, it has to be intentional. Growth does not happen automatically. Time is not the requirement. Time is a very fundamental requirement for growth, but it is not the trigger for growth. You must initiate growth and continuously engage it for it to happen. You don't just sit down and then you grow automatically. No, growth must be intentional. Now, here's another statement that you may want to write down. By the way, if you hear me share anything striking, make sure you share. Make sure you write it down in the comments. I hope we're getting value. If you're getting value, comment value. Now, write this down, that for any growth process to be consistent and sustainable, it must be systematized. No growth process, you will never grow sustainably and consistently if that growth process is not systematized. There is a reason why you eat 3 times every day or 2 times every day. If you eat only when you feel like eating, you will not grow sustainably. Are you seeing it? So for growth to be consistent, for growth to be sustainable, it must be systematized. And when I talk about being systematized, I'm talking about being systematic. And I'll be shedding more light on that. Remember, we're teaching on growth systems, the key to consistent growth and advancement. For many people, their struggle is not that they don't grow. No, Their trouble is that their growth is stunted. So 2 weeks they grow and then they go back again. So it's not consistent and it's not sustainable. Spiritual growth, you're on fire for God for 3 weeks, you're on fire for God for 1 month, and then for another 2 months, your spiritual life goes down. You are passionate about knowledge, you are reading books, you are listening to messages, you are growing and you are evolving, and then after a while, your passion goes down. So for most people, it's not that they are not growing, they are not consistent in their growth. And you will never be able to grow in a notable way if you are not growing consistently, if your growth process is not sustainable. Now, the human body, I want us to learn a few things from the human body and we'll apply it to growth as far as destiny is concerned. It will interest you to know that the human body is made up of over 37 trillion cells. Your body right now is made up of over 37 trillion cells. These cells come together to form what is known as tissues, right? You have muscle tissues, nerve tissues. These tissues come together to form your organs, your heart, your liver, your kidney. It is made up of tissues, and the tissues are made up of cells. Your organs come together to form what is called systems. Systems. Somebody write systems in the comment. Systems. Now, if you are a science student, you would have heard of the different kinds of human systems in terms of the body. You have digestive system responsible for digesting your food. You have the respiratory system responsible for your breathing. You have the circulatory system responsible for, the movement of blood. You have the nervous system, the muscular system, skeletal system, endocrine system. You have the immune system. Without the immune system, you will fall sick perpetually. Is one of the reasons why, the people who are SS, C class, usually fall sick over and over and over again because their immune system has been compromised. You have the excretory system, which is responsible for removing toxic substance from your food. You have the reproductive system. Thank you so much, Damilola. Reproductive system responsible for your ability to reproduce children and, feed those children. And I got to discover there's another system called the integumentary system. That's your senses, right? So the human body is made up of a lot of systems. And you see, these systems are running concurrently. Even right now that I'm teaching and I'm speaking, my respiratory system is working, my circulatory system is working, my digestive system is working. That's if I've ate. Are you seeing it? My skeletal system is the reason why I'm standing. So my survival is dependent on the working of my systems. Are you seeing it? It is these systems that make for your survival and for your growth. Very, very profound. In the context, now let me define what a system is with respect to the human body. A system with respect to the human body is a collection of organs that work together to carry out major necessary function for life and growth. So these systems are working, enabling you to survive and also to grow. The day one of these systems start working, you say that person is sick. Let's imagine, for example, that your digestive system start working. It means that you will no longer be able to eat and then feed. And what happens automatically? You start dying because your body can no longer absorb nutrients. How about your respiratory system? If your respiratory system stops working, you will stop breathing and very soon you will die. So these systems work automatically. That's why you see human beings grow. That's why you see human beings who are alive, because these systems are working. Whether some of these systems work even while you are sleeping. I want us to pick up something from here. Now, you see, these systems, you did not do anything to create these systems. The creator of the universe, God, was the one that put these systems in place so that you can survive and grow. They are self-sustaining. As long as you continue to breathe, as long as your body's digestive system is working, as long as your circulatory system is working, and every other system is working, you will survive and you will grow. So systems guarantees survival and growth. Systems guarantee survival and growth. I want you to pay attention, because we will draw from these lessons as we begin to talk about, the systems with respect to destiny, right? Destiny growth, destiny advancement. Because you cannot grow in destiny, you cannot grow in life if you don't have systems in place. Two important points I want us to know from the human body system that we will draw from. Two important points. Are we ready? There are two important points I want us to take note of. We'll draw wisdom from it as we consider the systems that have to do with destiny. The first point is that the human body systems are essential for life and for growth. That means these systems are what guarantee your life, your survival, and your growth. If these systems stop working, you will die or you will stop growing. Very interesting. So systems are very, very important. I hope you see the necessity of systems. If you need systems to survive biologically, then you need systems to thrive in destiny. The second lesson, the second point I want us to draw from the human system is that the human body systems do not run by emotions or feelings. My God, your respiratory system will not say, today is a bad day, let me stop working. Your digestive system will not say, it's like somebody broke your heart, let me stop working. These systems run whether you are in a good mood or you are in a bad mood. That's why you are alive. That's why you are growing. They don't depend on emotions. They don't depend on feelings to run. I like to say they are covenant dependent, because they were created by a covenant keeping God. That's why I cannot fall down and just die. Are you seeing it? In my village, people are not at work. All things being equal, we should be able to round up this session, me looking hale and hearty. Are you seeing it? Because my systems are working. Now, just like the human body system, you need systems when it has to do with the matter of life and destiny for you to grow and advance. My God. Just like you need systems in your body for consistent growth and advancement, for survival, you also need systems in the matters of destiny, in the matters of your life, for you to grow sustainably, for you to grow consistently, and for you to advance in matters of destiny. You must learn how to create systems, because you see, when it has to do with the body systems, the human body systems, God created that for you. Nobody contributed and said, God, I need a respiratory system, I need a digestive system, I need a muscular system. No, God in his infinite wisdom designed these systems for your survival and for your growth. When it has to do with your success, it is you now that will sit down and design your own systems to experience advancement, to experience growth. This is what is known as growth systems. I tell you, one of the reasons why people don't advance in life, one of the reasons why people don't move forward, we keep counting the years instead of making the years count. You live the same life every year for 79 years and you say you lived a life. No. One of the reasons why people keep repeating and replicating the same year without making any form of advancement or growth is because they do not have growth systems. Your respiratory system works every day. I hope you know. Just because it's a public holiday does not mean your respiratory system will say, I'm going on break. The human systems do not have public holidays. Imagine if your skeletal system says, today is Children's Day. I want to rest. Or today is Workers' Day. I've been working for 70 years. I've been working for 30 years. I want to rest now. So I want you to draw from these lessons. My God, if you know these things I'm telling you, your life will never remain the same. Every month will be a month of advancement. When the Bible says the path of the just is as a shining light, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 18, the path of the just is as a shining light that shines brighter and brighter, even unto the perfect day, is on account of you having growth systems. Is if you don't have growth systems, you will not be able to grow sustainably. No, you will not be able to grow sustainably. So what is a growth system? Let's dive into the meat, the subject matter. If I'm teaching good, I want to see the fire emoji in the comment. What is a growth system? First, let me define what a system is before I define what a growth system is. A system is a group of parts or components that work together to perform a specific function or set of functions. A system is a group of parts or components that work together to perform a specific function or set of functions. One of the reasons why you are able to drive your car is because there is something called the engine system. It's made up of different parts. There is the piston, there is the, there are so many parts within that engine that are working together to ensure that your car can move. So a system is generally a group of parts or components working together to achieve a specific function. What then is a growth system? A growth system, take note, is a series of specific, make sure you note that down, a series of specific, scheduled, meaning it has an exact time that you engage it, routine-based activities that you engage to guarantee sustainable transformation and advancement. I'll say it one more time. A growth system is a series of specific, scheduled, routine-based activities that you engage to guarantee sustainable transformation and advancement. For example, if you want to grow mentally, what do you do to grow mentally? You read, you listen to messages. So if I read every day, reading now becomes a growth system because it is allowing me to grow mentally. If I want to grow spiritually, I will pray every day. If I want to grow, if I want to become physically fit, what do I need to do? I need to exercise every day. So you see that these growth activities, if engaged consistently, they are what will guarantee your consistent growth. Now, there are people who read once in a month or when they feel like reading. That's not a growth system. For it to be a growth system, it must be specific. It must be scheduled. That means it must have an exact time when you do it. And it must be routine-based. That means you do it all the time. So if you say, I read every day, that's not a system. An example of a system is that I read 10 pages of a book every day once it is 2 p.m. Take note that it is specific. That means I read 10 pages. It is scheduled once it is 2 p.m. And then it is routine-based. I do it every day. So a growth system, right, must capture these three important factors. Number one, specific. Number two, scheduled. Number three, routine-based. So if you read when you feel like it, it's not a system because it is dependent on your feeling. Do you know that there is an exact number of times that your heart beats every day? There is an exact number of time. Are you seeing it? That your heart, when you hear, your heart, I've forgotten how many times they say the heart beats every second, but it is specific. That means, imagine if God says we should breathe anytime we feel like it. We will die before we even breathe. Are you seeing it? So growth systems must be specific, they must be scheduled, and they must be routine-based. Now, running these systems concurrently is what combines together to be called a growth system. There are things I do every day, whether I feel like it or not. I read every day, I pray every day, I take a nap every day, I journal every day. Are you seeing it? I spend at least an hour working on a project every day. There are systems that are put around my life. I do, right now I even increased it. I do 15 push-ups every day before I go into the shower. So when you see there's little muscle, Abi, it doesn't look like somebody who is going to the gym. But imagine doing for 15 push-ups every day for 1 year. My God. There is somebody who set a goal to become physically fit by the end of the year. And he has been eating burger and drinking Coke, forgetting that he set a goal. And there is somebody who did not set any goal to be physically fit at the end of the year, but he's doing 15 push-ups every day. Who do you think will arrive at that destination? This is why goals sometimes can be overrated. Goals without systems will fail. It is better to have systems and not have goals than to have goals and not have systems. Oh my God. Systems are more powerful than goals. I tell you, even if you don't set any goal and you have systems, things that you engage every day, you will never fail. You will never fail. This is why the apostles in Acts chapter 2 verse 4, my God, they says, but we will give ourselves to prayer and to the study of the word. That means we will pray every day and we will study every day. They did these two activities every day until a point came when one of the disciples' shadow was healing the sick. My God, they would take handkerchiefs from their body and they will use it to heal people and to deliver people. Why? Because when you grow, even goals you did not set will come to you. Sometimes you don't even need to set goals. Your growth will attract those goals. My God, is somebody getting value? Make sure you share this video with as many people as possible. This is the secret. This is why I'm not, at the end of the year, I'm not going to say, I did not achieve my goal. I set goals every year, but let me tell you, my growth system is more important than my goals. I do these things every day. As long as you are breathing every day, you know you will not die. As long as your digestive system is working, you know you will not die. It's when your digestive system stops working that you know that death is by the corner. That's how it is with growth systems. Now, I want to share with us 5 areas where you must have growth systems. 5 areas where you must have growth systems. There are 5 areas where you must have growth systems. Because for growth to be balanced and holistic, it must cover all the key areas of your life. Are we ready? Number 1 is spiritual growth. Spiritual growth. You need growth systems in the area of your relationship with God and your spiritual vibrancy. You are not just going to wake up next month and all of a sudden you have a healthy relationship with God. You are very, bubbly, burning spiritually. It doesn't work that way. It is your systems that will guarantee your spiritual growth. This is why you see families that have morning devotion, it looks as if they are not achieving anything. How can you just have morning devotion for 10 minutes or 15 minutes? Somebody who does not have devotion, who just prays when he feels like it, reads his Bible when he feels like it, he thinks he's better than the family that have morning devotion every day. Is a lie. As you'll be learning, consistency is more powerful than intensity. This is what makes growth systems powerful. Small daily improvements, when done consistently, will produce magnificent results in time. So you need systems around your spiritual growth, your relationship with God and your spiritual vibrancy. For example, 24 hours will not pass by that I will not pray for at least 1 hour every day. That's an example of a system. So I pray for at least 1 hour. This is an example now. 1 hour every day once it is 11 p.m. So once it is 11 p.m., it doesn't matter who I'm gisting with. Oga, time of prayer has come. This is why I respect, honestly, if you are a Muslim here, I respect Muslims a lot. Because sometimes Muslims are more disciplined in terms of keeping the growth routine for their spiritual fervency more than believers. Now, I'm able to challenge believers because I'm also a believer. Are you seeing it? But in terms of honoring spiritual growth routines, Muslims are more consistent than believers. And this is because they have a routine. They have a growth system. There is a system for every Muslim to pray 5 times a day. Is there a general system for believers? No. That's why we don't pray. Because you only pray when you feel like it. You only pray when you go for a church program, and then there is all sorts of shaky things. And you say, oh, the spirit, and then you go and you pray for 3 hours, and then 1 week later you don't pray again. Satan has mastered you. He knows that you are an intensity man. Can pray 6 hours, then in 1 month you don't pray at all. You will never grow that way. Example of growth system under spiritual growth is reading of 7 chapters of the Bible every day. I read 7 chapters of the Bible every day. My God, I started last year, and can you believe I'm already in the book of Luke? Somebody else set a goal that he will finish reading the Bible. Till now, he has not finished Genesis. In fact, he does not know where he stopped in Genesis. Systems are very powerful, my God, very powerful. The second area where you need to have growth systems is in the area of mental growth, or what I like to call solical growth. Your mind does not just evolve automatically. No. Are you seeing it? So many people are growing physically, but they are not growing mentally. So you are an 80-year-old man with a 20-year-old mindset. There are many people who are 30-year-old, but they have 15-year-old mindset. And there are people who are 25-year-old. They have the mindset of a 60-year-old person. My God. Why? Because they have growth systems. What's an example of a growth system for your mind? I read 10 pages of a book every day. Once it is 2 p.m. I did it today. I've been doing it almost for the past 3 years now. Imagine how many books I've read. Yeah, there is somebody who is saying, I want to read this book. And you have not read 1 book since the year began. 10 pages does not look like a lot until you do it every day for an extended period of time. Somebody getting value. Somebody getting value. I'm being blessed by what I'm sharing. So set growth systems. Make up your mind that from today, I'm going to read 10 pages of a book. Whether I'm sick, whether I have a bad day, whether somebody broke my heart, I will read 10 pages of a book. Because it is what you do every day that determines who you become permanently. Growth systems, the key to consistent growth and transformation. Profound. What's another example for mental that you can put in place for mental growth? You listen to a faith building message every morning for at least 30 minutes or 1 hour. Or you listen to a message the moment you enter into your car. There is no day that passes by that I don't listen to a message for at least an hour. In fact, I listen to at least up to 4 hours, 5 hours, most days. Because I know that every other area of my growth is dependent on my mental growth. My spiritual growth is dependent on my mental growth. Romans chapter 12 verse 2, the Bible says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed through the renewal of your mind. Until your mind is renewed, your life cannot be transformed. If you were born in a poor background, you need to read twice as much as somebody, in fact, 10 times as much as somebody that was born in a rich family. You know why? Because there are lots of negative mindset, negative beliefs that you picked up growing up in that kind of environment. Many people don't know that their fight is different, their race is different. I know where I started from. I've shared my story. Growing up in a family, that had 6 children in a compound that was housing 10 families that had only 1 toilet and 1 bathroom. My school trouser was so worn out, I had to use sellotape to hold it from inside. Literally, they were sharing pap with sugar for everybody because there was no luxury of sugar. They will mix everything and then they will fetch for you. I remember that back then, me and my brother used to do competition. First to go back home to lick the rubber where the pap is. Imagine growing up in that kind of background, the scarcity mentality. Your mind was not formed in a day. It will not be changed in a day. So if somebody who was born in a rich family needs to read 10 books, you will need to read 1,000 books for you to have the same level of transformation as that person. So the best time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Read, listen to messages. Growth, mental growth has to be done by growth systems. I do these things every day. The third area where you need to have growth systems is in your relationship, what I call relational growth. Your relationship will not get better automatically. My God, there are many people who think that they will just have quality relationships automatically. And you must understand that relationships do not maintain themselves. Let me give you an example of a relationship growth system. For example, I visit my key mentors, or I send them a gift at least at the end of the year. My mother, I have only one mother. My dad is late. So I designed a system. I cannot take my mother for granted. I must honor her twice every year, on my birthday and on Christmas Day. So once my birthday is coming, I know that, guy, you have to honor your mother now. There is a system to it. There are many people here, you can't remember the last time you did something for your mother. Why? Because there is no system. Every weekend, I must speak with a loved one, a family member. So no matter how busy I am, once it's weekend, Saturday or Sunday, I pick up my phone and call one of my family members, whether a brother or a sister. These are systems. You can set a system and say you will send one text message every day to check on somebody that you've not heard about in a long while. So systems is what guarantees consistent growth. You will never be able to advance without systems. What I'm sharing is very profound. Many people really, I hope you value this. You are listening to the Read broadcast. Make sure you pay attention and you put to practice what you are learning. Relational growth. The fourth area where you must have growth systems is in your physical growth. Your physical growth. Now, this talks about your health, your physical health, and also your physical appearance. What systems have you put in place to ensure that you are healthy, you stay healthy? And if you are above 30, you are listening to me, you need to set up systems. For example, I will no longer take Coke or any carbonated drink. That's a system. I will only eat bread during weekends. That's a system for your health. I told you that I do 15 push-ups every day before I take my bath. That's a system. Remember, for you to say a system is a system, it must be specific, it must be scheduled, and then it must be routine-based. You do it again and again. I drink at least, I have my jug here. I always fill it with water at least 7 times a day. So I ensure that I'm always hydrated. In fact, I just ordered a 2-liter water bottle on Jumia because I want to maintain my health. I don't want to die at 50. I plan to enjoy life. So I have to create systems to maintain my health. No excessive sugar. Make sure I'm exercising. I used to go and jog, every Saturdays until I no longer had the time again. That's why I reinvented, doing the push-ups that I do. In fact, I'm planning on getting skipping rope so that every day I do at least 30 skips. Don't say it's too small. It's too small only if you do it once. If you take, this is the remote. This is a remote to my light, one of the lights I'm using here. Now, if I hold this remote like this, after 10 minutes, I may not feel anything. But imagine holding it for 1 hour. Imagine holding it for 5 hours. Imagine holding it for 24 hours. All of a sudden, what looked small will automatically become weighty. Why? Because anything you do consistently has significant effect. Do you know that little drops of water on a rock can dig a hole on that rock as long as it is consistent and persistent? So there is no small thing as small routine. 10 pages a day compounded over time will yield significant results. So set growth systems around your physical life, your physical growth, whether it's push-ups, For everyone who is in the Leaders Manna Network, there are 3 growth routines that we engage. Now you see where that wisdom came from. Number 1, we read 10 pages every day. Number 2, we listen to at least 30 minutes of it. We do at least 10 push-ups every day. I hope you guys can still hear me and you can still see me. Sorry, a call came in. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. So sorry about that. Okay, fantastic. I think you guys can hear me. Okay, so the most important thing is the consistency, right? And for the Leaders Manna Network, I told us the 3 activities that we do: 10 push-ups, reading 10 pages of a book, or for the push-ups, you can either do skipping instead, right? But we do it every day, because what you do every day is what will change your life. As Dr. Mike Murdoch would say, it is what you do consistently that will determine who you become permanently. The 5th area where you need to have growth systems is with respect to your finances, financial growth. You cannot grow financially if you don't have systems in place. For example, one of my growth systems under my finances is that I measure all my financial records at the first day of the month. So I have a couple of bank accounts. I check how much I have in all of the bank accounts. So I usually compare it. Is there increase? Was there decrease? Because whatever you don't measure will not grow. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So you need to have systems like this. Maybe for somebody, your system could be that you will save maybe a certain amount of money every day. That's a system. Or you will measure your expenses and review it at the end of the week. That's a system. The point you need to know is that you will never be able to grow sustainably and consistently if you don't have growth systems in place. Now, let me share, we're about to round up. Let me share some important points that you need to know about growth systems. Important points you need to take note of. Number 1, for growth systems to be effective, it must be personalized. If you want your growth system to be effective, it must be tailor-made for you. It cannot be the same for everybody, because we all have different routines. We are all in different stages of our lives. If I give you my growth system, you will most likely die because many of you will not be able to keep up with the routine at all. Why? Because of the kind of life that I live. I don't do a 9 to 5. I'm not a student. I don't need to read for any exam. So I have all the time. I can design a robust system, growth system that I engage. So it must be personalized. For example, if I say read 10 pages of a book every day once it's 2 p.m., what if around 2 p.m. every day you are at work? So you see, you have to personalize it. So for you, it could be read 10 pages of a book before I sleep. Are you seeing it? So your growth system must be personalized for it to be effective. By the way, if you want me, I'm a coach. I'm a personal development coach. You want to have a one-on-one session with me to help you develop your own personalized growth system, you can send a DM, but take note, it's not free. I'm going to charge you because it's premium value, right? Number 2, important points to know about growth system is that consistency is more important than intensity. When it has to do with growth systems, your consistency is more important than your intensity. So don't set a growth system and say, I'm going to pray for 3 hours every day. It doesn't make sense. It's not feasible. You want the barest minimum. You want the minimum where you cannot default. When I talk about growth system, is a foundation for me. I cannot go below my growth systems. I think it was Brian Tracy who said that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our growth systems. Are you seeing it? So your growth system is like the baseline. That even if you had a very bad day, you know that you still engage your growth systems. So if you set to do 3 goals, if you set to achieve 3 hours of prayer every day, it will not be feasible. It will not be feasible, right? Because what about days where you had a busy day and you were not able to engage it? Does that make sense? The 3rd important point you need to know about growth systems is that you should feel free to adjust your system. Feel free to adjust your system if it's not working for you. You are not a tree. You can change. Are you seeing it? So, for example, if I say I'm going to do 10 push-ups every day before I take my bath, and I notice that I'm not able to do it because I'm always in a rush to take my bath, I can adjust it. I'm not a tree. Just because you set a growth system does not mean you cannot change it. You can't always change your growth system. Number 4, the fourth point you must take note of about growth systems is that you must engage your growth system with a covenant mentality. Now, this is a very powerful one to take note of. Your growth system is not something that you should do. It should be something that you must do. If you approach it with a mentality of, I should be able to do this, you will never be consistent. When I say I will read 10 pages of a book every day, even if blood is coming out from my eye, I will open the other eye and read, because it's a covenant. It's like marriage. When you are married to a lady and the lady now cooks and put 2 liters of salt inside your food, you will not say, I'm no longer doing it again. I'm not doing the marriage again. If you were dating, you could have gone out. But it's a covenant. It's no longer a choice. That's how it is with growth systems. When you set your growth systems, it becomes a covenant. Your feelings should not dictate whether you do it or not. Your emotions should not dictate whether you do it or not. Just like the way that your respiratory system does not say you had a bad day, let me not breathe. Or your digestive system says, let me stop working because you do not eat the food I say you should eat. No, they work whether you are in the mood or not. Covenant mentality. Number 5, the 5th point you should know about growth systems is that growth is more powerful than goals. I already shared this. Growth is more powerful than goals. It is better to have a growth system and not have goals than to have goals and not have a growth system. Because who you become is more important than what you get. Growth makes you become to attract. Goals is about getting things. There are many things I never set as a goal, but I have them today. You know why? Because I grew to the version of the person that can attract those results. So instead of setting goals sometimes, focus on your growth. My God, there's what I call my 2-2-2 growth routine. 2 things I do every morning, 2 things I do every afternoon, and 2 things I do every night. I do them whether I'm in the mood or not. They are responsible for my becoming. It was John C. Maxwell in one of his books that shared about what he calls the rule of 5. He said, and it's based on the philosophy that if you have a tree behind your house and you take an axe and you swipe on the tree 5 times every day and you go back 5 times every day, what will eventually happen to the tree? The tree will fall. So similarly, if there are 5 things you do every day in the direction of the person you want to become, what do you think will eventually happen? You will become that person. So the goal is to find out what your 5 things are and just focus on doing them every day. Don't focus too much on the result. Focus on the system that will take you to the result. My God, this is why when you are praying, I feel like praying in tongues. I just remember that this is the school of personal development. You see, you are praying, you are reading. You don't know what you will become, but you know you will become something great. There is nobody who reads consistently who will become something mediocre. When I was listening to Bishop Dr. Oyedepo, when he shared that all leaders are readers and all readers will eventually become leaders, I say, is that true? So you mean if I start reading, I will eventually become a leader? I say, okay, let me try it. I started reading. I never set it as a goal to become a leader. But today, by the grace of God, I have the privilege to serve as a leader in many fronts. And many people I know will consider me to be a leader. I did not get here by goals. I got here by growth. You read every day, you cannot be small. You pray every day, you cannot be small. You exercise every day, you cannot have 1 pack, big tummy. Are you seeing it? You do 10 push-ups every day, there should be little biceps. Is it triceps now or biceps? I don't know, whatever it is. But the key is every day. Dr. Mike Murdoch says it is what you do every day that determines who you become permanently, not what you do once in a while. It is better to read 10 pages of a book every day for 30 days than to read for 3 hours once in 30 days. Consistency is more important than intensity. Now, what are some of the growth mindsets? Because when you set your growth systems, right, it is one thing to have your growth system, It is another thing to be able to keep to the growth system. For example, you say you read every day. I hope you know it's very easy to say I will read every day once it's 2 p.m. It's once 2 p.m. reach the next day that we'll know whether what you said, you really mean it. So what are the growth mindsets that will help you keep to these growth routines? Number one, whatever is changing usually does not notice the change. This is the first mindset you must have to be consistent with your growth system. Whatever is changing usually does not notice the change. So when you are engaging your growth routine or your growth activities, you would think that you are not changing because you are not seeing any physical manifestation. For example, somebody who has been reading every day for the last 5 months, you will not all of a sudden they'll just call him and say, we are making you a doctor, or we are promoting you. No, most times you will not see any physical change instantly. So your ability to push through will have to be dependent on a mentality that you have, that sometimes change does not have to be physical for it to be happening. Wow, this is a powerful one. Somebody write it in the comments. Change does not have to be physical to mean it is happening. How many of us have heard about the Chinese bamboo tree? For 5 years, that seed is underground. It doesn't grow, it's underground. And in less than 5 weeks after that 5 years, that seed that has been underground breaks through the ground and grows up to 90 feet above ground. Less than 5 weeks. So in that 5 years that you don't see anything, you would think that nothing is happening. But it is growing roots. It is growing depth. It is building that foundation that will hold the tree once it grows up. That's how it is when you are engaging your growth system. You will not look as if you are changing, my God, but give yourself time. And all of a sudden, that's why we will just see some people who will say, this person came out of nowhere. Nobody came out of nowhere. It is the compound interest of their consistency with small daily activities that exploded into what you see as a result. You hear me teach like this, you think it's because it didn't take me less than 2 hours, 3 hours to prepare what I'm sharing now. But many of the knowledge, the insight you see me sharing is decades, maybe just up to a decade of reading books, listening to messages. Some of these quotes, they were in books that I read 3 years ago, 5 years ago, because what you do daily is what determines who you become permanently. If you stand next to a tree and you keep standing next to the tree every day, if you stand next to the tree for 5 years, you will not notice any change. But you stand next to the tree and leave and come back after 5 years, you'll be like, wow, this tree don't grow. It's not like anything happened significantly. It's because you were not there while it was growing. So whatever is near the growth does not notice the growth. That's why you go back home after you go to school or university, and you go back home and your neighbor will see you and say, Michael, this small pikin, now you grow like this? And you are wondering, did I really grow? Because whatever is changing usually does not notice the change. The second growth mindset that you need to be consistent with your growth system is that consistency is better than intensity. I already shared this. It is better for you to pray 30 minutes every day for 30 days than to pray for 10 hours once in 30 days. There is something about habits and routines. There is something it does to you as a person. I tell you, I fear the person who goes to the gym for 10 minutes every day than somebody who goes to the gym for 10 hours once in a month. Who do you think will most likely be physically fit? And exercise, put in all of it, and they skip the gym. The only time you see them is January the next year, and you notice that they now have their big tummy have come back. They are all flabby, they are all fat. Yet you see somebody who has been consistent going to the gym for just 30 minutes every day. And my God, by the time you see him after 1 year, he's looking all physically fit, six-pack, flat tummy, because consistency is more powerful than intensity. If something is not working, change it. You are not a tree. I think I already shared this before now, that you should adjust. If your growth system is not working, adjust it, right? For example, you can adjust the time. If, for example, you read every day once it's 2 p.m., you can change the time and say, I read in the night. Or if, okay, can you guys hear me? So sorry. I hope you guys can hear me now. Am I live over? Okay. So sorry, guys. So sorry about the network issue. I'm back. Had a call, direct call. I'll make sure we fix it before the next School of Personal Development. So sorry about that breaking transmission. Where did I stop? Number 4, right? Number 3. Okay, if something is not working, I say you should change it. So the whole idea is, if you say you're going to pray for 3 hours every day and you notice it's not feasible, change it. You are not a tree. So feel free to adjust your routine to suit you. Remember, I said your routine must be personalized, right? And then number 4, the 4th mindset, growth mindset that you need to help you to be consistent with your growth system is to learn to jump the bandwagon as quickly as possible. Learn to jump the bandwagon as quickly as possible. For example, if I say I'm going to read every day for 30 minutes and I did not read today, I'll not sit down and I'll start crying, I wish I read. No, I will just move to tomorrow and make sure I read tomorrow. So learn to jump the bandwagon as quickly as possible. Do not cry over spilled milk. If you miss, pick up yourself. Even as I am now, there are days where, I've missed some of my growth system. But that leads me to the 5th point, to the 5th growth mindset. If you fail once, it is a mistake. If you fail twice consecutively, it is a decision. If you fail 3 times in a row, it is a habit. So you don't want to break your word. If you miss your growth routine once, you made a mistake. If you miss it twice in a row, no, that one is a decision. If you miss it 3 times, it has become a habit and you most likely not continue again. So make sure you don't fail more than once. In fact, make sure you don't fail at all. But if you ever miss, don't miss twice in a row. Somebody get that? The 6th mindset that you need, growth mindset that you need to help you to be consistent, is that growth will cost you, but not growing will cost you more. My God, growth will cost you. Growth is a very boring process. In fact, I forgot to tell us that the number 1 enemy to your growth, to your consistency with your growth system, is boredom. I tell you, that's why if you want to run away from boredom, forget about greatness. Great people are people who have mastered the art of doing the same thing over and over and over again, even when it makes them feel bored. This one, there is no cure, there is no antidote. You will be bored sometimes. You can have times where you relax, schedule time, create a system for entertainment. Create a system. I have a system for that, but I usually don't follow it. But you will not see me watching movie in the morning or in the afternoon. Maybe in the middle, maybe between 4 and 7, I can watch a movie, or I can just go online and watch a few videos. Create a system where you cater to your soul, right? You cater to your emotions. Well, I'm telling you that the number 1 threat to your consistency with your growth system is boredom. This is why I say growth will cost you, but not growing will cost you more. Pay the price to pray. Pay the price to study. Pay the price to go to the gym. 5 months from now, you'll be happy you paid the price. Sometimes I look back and I say, wow, I like the fact that I did not give up. January, I was consistent. February, I was consistent. March, consistent. April, May, consistent. Imagine praying every day 1 hour for 1 year. Imagine reading a book every day 1 hour for 1 year. Imagine going to the gym 30 minutes every day for 1 year. Even you yourself, you will like yourself. This is the key to relevance. This is the key to significance. If you don't work on yourself, don't wonder why you have low self-esteem. You can't keep your word. You eat anyhow. You don't read. You watch movies. You are scrolling through TikTok videos every day. You will definitely have low self-esteem and no confidence. Growth will cost you, but not growing will cost you more. Let me wrap up by sharing with us 6 growth indicators. These are things to look out for to show that you are growing. At least it will give you encouragement to continue with your growth systems. Some growth indicators. You begin to see these things in your life as proof that you are growing, as proof that you are changing. Number 1, the quality of your thoughts. My God. You that before you will sit down, all you are thinking is negative thoughts. How you slap somebody, how you go and buy amala and eat, how you go and buy sugarcane, how you beat somebody. All those negative thoughts, when you begin to work on yourself and you grow, your thoughts will begin to change. Your thought, that's the first thing. You that all of a sudden you just see that you begin to think depressing thoughts. I'm going to die. What if I fail? What if I do that? If you involve in your growth, your thoughts is the first thing that will begin to feel the impact. The second growth indicator is the quality of your words. The quality of your words. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20, it says, to the word and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it says, there is no light in them. It is because there is no light in them. So there is a way you speak when you are growing. You will not hear me use vulgar words. I cannot even think about using vulgar words. You know, I met with one of my classmates recently. I hope he's not here so that he will not judge me. And I was so surprised. I said, see this person that God has helped and he has grown. But he was just saying a lot of, you know, F words. A lot of somebody who is married though. And I'm like, you see, this one result cannot give you, is growth that will give you. When you see somebody talk like a king, it's because they grew up to become a king. So your words, seasoned with salt, when you speak, is like milk and honey. You speak well, you speak eloquently. It's a proof of growth. Some of you may not have result now, but when you speak, my God, you speak well. People can sit down and listen to you and know you are making sense. I met one of my mentees recently and I was telling her, I'm proud of you. See the way you are talking. Talking sense. You may not have money in your bank account, but it's proof that something is happening. It's proof. Growth indicators. Number 3, the third growth indicator is your behavior and your attitude. Your behavior and your attitude. You that you will go to a wedding and you see rice coming and you say, I never eat. Oh. Now you go to a wedding and you are calm. There is, even if you don't eat or you eat, you are calm. Because you know that you can always go to a restaurant to eat. There are people who are 30-year-old. If they carry the meat in their food, they will cry. Because they have not grown. He says, when I was a child, I behaved like a child. Now that I'm an adult, I should behave like an adult. There are people who behave anyhow. Wrong attitude. You just get angry for no reason. Huh? Somebody mistakenly match you before they will say sorry. You say, are you blind? Your attitude. If your attitude begins to change, you become a more patient person, a more relaxed person. You don't rush to make decisions. It's proof that you are growing. The 5th indicator of growth is your relationships. You cannot tell me you are growing if your relationships are not changing. If the friends you had when you were a drunkard are still the same friends you have now that you are no longer drinking, you is a lie. You are still drinking. Number 4, sorry. Point number 4. I said point number 3. Your relationships must change if you are changing. So there are people who used to be my friends. All of a sudden, I just discovered that we could no longer rapport. Amos Street, he says, can two work together except they agree? You will notice that you begin to lose your old friends and new friends will begin to come in. So make sure that these things are happening. If they are not happening, then keep pumping on growth. Keep pumping on growth. For example, if you are somebody who is, doing 20 push-ups every day, you are working to become healthy, and you have a friend who is always drinking beer, he doesn't exercise, he overeats, very soon you and that person will no longer work together because you don't align. You don't have the similar growth systems. That's why we have the Leaders Manna Network. If you are not a member of the Leaders Manna Network, make sure you join right now. The link is in the description. A community of people who are growth focused, growth centered, who have a passion to become more. You will not see somebody who is foolish in that group. If I see somebody come and post a picture, and he has dada wearing singlet, dye his hair yellow with earring, I'll just say, are you sure you are in the right place? Because people who are in that group should have a similar mindset. So your relationships must change. And then number 5, the 5th growth indicator is your actions, your decisions, the actions that you take. I expect somebody who has grown to be able to, empty his account to buy books. You may be broke, but you buy books. Somebody who is not growing will not think it wise to buy books. But you are grown, you value knowledge. Are you seeing it? You can empty your account. It's because you are growing that you are here. So growth will automatically affect your actions. There are actions that a child will take. There are actions that only an adult can take. The fifth indicator of growth is your result. Now, this is what many people want. This is where we are going towards to. Your bank account begins to change. Your influence, people they're attracted to you. Your results, people gravitate towards you. These are 6 indicators that show that you are growing. I hope that we got value. I'm going to wrap up by saying this. It is not enough to have growth systems. Remember, if you have a respiratory system that is not working, you will die of lack of air. So it is one thing to have the system, it's another thing to engage it. And I tell you, it is very important to not just have growth systems, but to ensure that you are engaging that systems. Even if you don't have goals, you settle down, you listen to this teaching again, create your own growth system and begin to engage it. I assure you, you will not fail. You will not fail. So make sure you recommend this teaching to somebody, share it. Click on the share and share the link directly on your WhatsApp status. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. You can imagine what will happen to people who put these things to practice. I tell you, this is not something that I'm just teaching. This is what I do. This is the foundation of my life. In fact, this is premium value, because things like this should only be taught to premium, people who are subscribed to a higher value content. But I just felt like, a lot of people need to learn this wisdom, growth systems. God, everything God designed that he wants to be sustainable, he created a system around it. The reason why mangoes don't finish is because in every mango fruit, there is a seed. So God designed a system for that mango to replenish itself. The reason why chickens don't finish, in fact, I heard that there are 3 times as much chickens as there are human beings on the earth today. That means we'll never run out of chickens. But the reasons why we'll never run out is not because chickens are available. No, it's because there's a system for them to replenish. The sun rises and sets, rises. God designed a system around the solar planet, the entire planet, because he wants continuity. The reason why water don't finish, I hope you know that the water we drink is not new water. This is why water is a very powerful spiritual force. This water, King Solomon drank it. Mark Zuckerberg, maybe he's drinking his own water where he's still alive. But water just recycles itself. The water we drink, we go excrete it, sun evaporates it, and then it comes back. Nothing is sustainable without growth systems. And I hope that we are inspired. I hope we are challenged to go and put this teaching to practice. And I assure you, you will have the result. I end again with my favorite Bible verse, John chapter 13, verse 17. Now that you know these things, happy are you if you do them. You are not happy, you are not blessed if you don't do them. You are blessed if you do them. So take what you have learned and put it into practice. If you got value, go ahead and comment value in the comments. I'll do maybe 1 or 2 quick shout outs and then we're done. Don't forget to subscribe to the teaching. Don't forget to share with your friends and your families. And don't forget to join the Leaders Manna Network. This is our official, this for me is a major milestone. The first official live video session for the School of Personal Development. So you guys, you just broke record with me, and it will be from glory to glory. We'll only get better. Only get better. Once upon a time, we only used to have these sessions on WhatsApp. Now we're on YouTube. Only God knows what will happen in the next 5-10 years. That's the power of growth. The power of growth. Maybe in the next 5-10 years, I'll be in US broadcasting in my studio, and everyone, 1 million people all over Africa, joining to learn, to listen, and to be blessed. If you got value, go ahead and comment value. I'll do a quick shout out now and then I'm done. But maybe just 1 or 2 announcements. Number 1, you know how we do it. The audio recording will be available, but to only members of the Leaders Manna Network Inner Circle Monthly, right? It's a subscription-based monthly community where you get access to this teaching. So you can reach out maybe to Kanye for more details to have access. Number 2, do not forget to share our flyers. In another 2 weeks now, we'll be having, don't miss any of the sessions that we have lined up. I tell you, I've scheduled the next, I think, 5 sessions, very powerful and life transforming topics. Powerful and life transforming topics. In fact, we're starting a series on time management next month. Don't miss it. It's going to change your life. So invite people, share the flyer when you see it, get people to register, and God will bless you even as you do so. Hopefully by next month or so, we'll create an avenue for those who want to support what we do. You know, you want to support the work. This is not a church, right, where you collect tithes and offering. This is a non-governmental organization, and there has to be some sort of funding to keep the things going. I'm thinking of upgrading. Hopefully, we start using very sophisticated platforms to run these live sessions so that to improve on the excellence, the quality of delivering the video and all of that. So you want to support us, we'll make that arrangement available, hopefully before the next session or by the next session, by the grace of God. That said, thank you so much for joining in. Cornel, thank you so much. I saw the comment right here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you so much, everybody. Shout out to Micah, shout out to Peter, shout out to Walata Mama, blessing Balami, blessing Kure, God bless you. Israel Konyo, God bless you. Ron Shishingi, where's that from? Walata Maman, God bless you. Zamdayo Messi, God bless you. God bless you, everyone. Please have a lovely, lovely night rest. God bless you.